"You're not welcome back until you apologize to your niece," my mom said. "You embarrassed her in front of the family." I just nodded, packed my things, and removed myself from every bill account and autopay they depended on. Within 24 hours, their phones were cut, the power was out, and the apologies started rolling in. I've never been one to explode in front of people. I've always kept my head down, kept the peace, kept the bills paid. But that night during that ridiculous Sunday dinner, something in me just snapped. The thing about living with your parents as an adult is that you're never really seen as one. It doesn't matter if you're the one buying the groceries, managing the bills, handling doctor's appointments, car repairs, cleaning up after everyone's mess. In their eyes, I was still just Stacy, the single mom who never quite figured things out. We were all squeezed around that overused oak table. Me, my daughter Harper, my sister Amanda, her husband Jason, their daughter Ellie, and of course my parents, who never missed a chance to comment on how tired I looked. Ellie was in full performance mode that night. Hair curled, acrylic nails tapping against her phone, giggling at things that didn't seem to have a punchline. She'd already commented on Harper's shoes before we sat down. Then something about her haircut, and now it was Harper's weight. "She probably doesn't want to eat because she's scared she'll get fatter," Ellie said, smirking while texting with one hand and stabbing a green bean with the other. No one laughed, but no one said anything either. Harper just sat there staring at her plate, like if she concentrated hard enough, she could disappear into it. I looked straight at Amanda. She didn't even blink. So, I turned to Mom, then Dad. Mom gave me that look like I should just let it go. Dad was already halfway tuned out, the sound from the living room TV leaking through like always. I'd spent the past 4 years swallowing every insult for the sake of peace, for the roof over our heads, for the illusion of family. But that night, I broke the silence. And I didn't just snap at Ellie. I dismantled every piece of the fake harmony they all clung to. I laid it all out. Every time Ellie had mocked Harper, every time Amanda had brushed it off, every time Mom told me to pick my battles, and every time Dad said, "It's just kids." I told them how Harper cried herself to sleep last Christmas after Ellie told her no one would want to sit next to her at the table because she looked like she was about to explode. I said it all. Jason tried to cut me off, but I wasn't talking to him. Amanda finally raised her voice, tried to paint Ellie as just a teenager, as if that explained years of targeted cruelty. And then, Mom, after everything, turned to me and said the sentence that still echoes in my head. "You're not welcome back until you apologize to your niece. You embarrassed her in front of family." That was it. Not one word about Harper. I didn't respond. I just stood up, told Harper to grab her backpack, and we left. We walked across the driveway in silence. Back to the guest house I'd been paying rent for, even though they never cashed the checks. I packed everything in 2 hours. Mostly clothes, Harper school stuff, our important documents. They didn't come out to check on us. No one knocked. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just opened my laptop. I removed myself from every bill, the phone plan, my gone electric. I was the one paying through my account. Hence, the car Amanda drove still under my name. I reported it as no longer in use. I shut off every autopay, every subscription, every service they leaned on. The next morning, I signed a lease for a small 2-bedroom that just happened to open up after someone backed out last minute. No credit check thanks to the landlord being a friend of a friend. Harper and I moved in the same day. By noon, the power was out at my parents' house. By 3, none of their phones worked. That night, I got 12 calls from Jason's work number, from neighbors, even from Amanda's old high school friend who found me on Facebook. They all wanted to know where I was, what had happened, why the family account wasn't working. I ignored every single one because for the first time in a long time, I felt free. And I knew deep down they weren't worried about us. They were just panicking about losing what I gave them. The calls didn't slow down. If anything, they picked up speed. I stopped checking voicemail after the first few. Amanda left one pretending to be calm like this wasn't a full-blown fallout. She said we should talk like adults and clear the air. I just stared at my screen thinking she still doesn't get it. Then Mom tried. 3 missed calls in a row. No message, no texts. Just silence on the line like maybe I'd pick up if she held the phone long enough. Jason finally left a voicemail. His voice was clipped and irritated. "You took us off the damn grid, Stacy. Seriously, grow up." Actually made me laugh. They were all scrambling, not because I was gone, Not because they missed Harper or cared about what happened to her at that dinner table, but because their comfort had been disrupted. Music, I could imagine it all perfectly. Amanda not knowing how to switch the electric account into her name. Mom confused about why her phone wouldn't make calls. Ellie whining about the Wi-Fi being down. Jason blaming everyone but himself. And none of them understanding how much they'd come to rely on the very person they pushed out. The truth is, they'd all made me their unofficial manager. It wasn't out of trust. It was out of convenience. I was the one who paid the bills, set the reminders, handled the paperwork, ordered the groceries, fixed the thermostat, arranged the car inspections, paid for Mom's medications when she forgot her wallet, registered Ellie for summer camp when Amanda didn't feel like dealing with forms. They had always assumed I'd be there to handle the unglamorous parts of life. I wasn't anymore. Not now. Harper and I were unpacking in our new place when a friend messaged me to say Amanda had posted some vague quote about being betrayed by people you help. Typical. Amanda could never admit she was wrong, even if it were gift-wrapped. Then Brianna called. We'd been close since high school, and even though she stayed in touch with my family, she'd always made it clear she didn't get involved in the drama. This time was different. Your mom showed up here, she said. She didn't say much, just asked where you were living now. I froze. Brianna said she looked tired, exhausted, not angry. She asked if you were okay. I told Brianna not to say anything, and she promised she wouldn't, that I wasn't scared of them finding me. I just didn't want them thinking they had a door they could walk through without knocking. That night, someone slipped a letter under our door. A plain envelope, my name written in my mom's handwriting. Inside it said Harper didn't deserve that, but neither did Ellie. We all make mistakes. Please come home. No apology. Just a careful attempt to balance blame. Harper read it too. I didn't hide it from her. She handed it back without saying a word. I left it on the counter next to the lamp. They still didn't get it. This wasn't about one dinner, one insult, one silence. It was years of being dismissed, useful, but never valued. Now that I was gone, now that the lights weren't on, the phones weren't working, and no one remembered the insurance password, suddenly it was a crisis. For Harper and me, though. We were finally learning how to breathe. The second week in the apartment felt like stepping into someone else's life. Not because it was perfect, but because it was quiet. No banging doors. No footsteps in the hallway at night. No tension buzzing in the walls. Harper adjusted quickly. I think kids know when the air is finally safe. One night, I came home to find her sprawled across the couch, wrapped in a blanket, eating cereal from a mixing bowl and watching an old cartoon, her socks half off. She grinned and told me the kitchen sink was dripping again. That was it. No fear, no anxiety, just a kid being a kid. Meanwhile, everything we left behind was unraveling. Amanda texted first, dramatic, vague, and completely missing the point. This isn't you. Ignoring your own family. You should be ashamed. I read it twice, then blocked her. Jason emailed 2 days later. Long and angry. Words like irresponsible, abandonment, legal trouble. He'd finally realized the car insurance was in my name and had been canceled. He ended with, I thought family meant something to you. I actually laughed. Then came a letter from Mom. Not a call, another handwritten note, delivered to our mailbox. Her handwriting was shaky. I hadn't seen it in years. Please talk to us. This has gone too far. We need you. Harper needs family. I miss you. No mention of what caused this. No apology. Just a plea, like I'd disappeared without reason. But I hadn't disappeared. I was living 2 miles away. I just wasn't crawling back. The real shift came when the mortgage company called. Amanda had tried to get information and was denied. She wasn't authorized. So I updated the mailing address. All notices would come directly to me. Overdue property taxes, lapsed insurance, unpaid trash bills. I didn't tell anyone. I let the mail speak for itself. They started reaching out through anyone who might still talk to me. A girl from college messaged me saying Amanda was just trying to make things right, and that maybe I could be the bigger person. Even Ellie tried reaching out, not to Harper, but to one of her friends. Tell her I didn't mean it like that. Harper read it, handed me the phone, and said nothing. She didn't ask what to reply. That was new. Then came the knock at the door. It was Brianna, holding groceries and looking uneasy. I didn't tell them where you live, she said immediately. But they're trying to find out. She sat at the kitchen table and told me the truth. Mom wasn't doing well. Amanda was spiraling. They were scared, really scared. They didn't know how to function without me. and they were finally realizing it. That night, I lay in bed listening to the soft hum of the fan in Harper's room. I thought about how I used to fall asleep to yelling and slam doors. Now it was quiet. No one needed anything from me. That silence, that was freedom. They were standing in the same cold silence they'd always given me when I spoke up, when I asked for help, when I said Harper deserved better. I wasn't in any hurry to warm it up, that I thought I understood the pattern. Ignore them, they get louder. Wait longer, they get desperate. But I didn't expect him. 3 weeks into the new apartment, halfway through my shift at HomeGoods, I looked up from organizing candles and saw my dad standing there in his work boots and old jacket, completely out of place. We hadn't spoken since I left. He'd never called or texted. Typical. He always let Mom or Amanda do the talking. After a long silence, he said, "You were right." It caught me off guard. Not because I needed it, but because I never expected anyone to admit it. He said things had gone too far, that Harper and I didn't deserve it, and that he should have spoken up. Then he told me Ellie had asked to see a therapist. She'd been having panic attacks and didn't like how she felt around people anymore, especially around Harper. Amanda had resisted at first, but after everything started falling apart, she cracked. Dad said quietly, "They're scared because now they know you can live without them." Before he left, he handed me a folded drawing Harper had made months ago, stick figures of the two of us in front of a blue-roofed house. On the back, he'd written that she'd left it behind. The next day, Harper asked to go to the park near the old house. She said it wasn't about them. She just liked the swings better. While swinging, she told me Ellie used to push her when they were little, before things changed. Then she added, "I stopped trying too." That night, Brianna texted to say Amanda wanted to talk. I didn't respond. For the first time, it didn't feel like they were pulling me back. It felt like they were finally sitting with the weight I'd carried for years. A few days later, an envelope showed up under my door. This time it was from Amanda. She admitted she should have defended Harper and called herself a coward for not doing it. I read it twice, then went on with my evening. I wasn't jumping anymore. The next day, Harper came home saying Ellie had helped her with a science project and hadn't said anything mean. That stopped me. Later, while sorting old photos, I realized maybe it wasn't that people turned bad. Maybe they just got used to me absorbing everything. And when I finally walked away, they were left to face the mess on their own. That Monday morning, an unknown number called. I let it go to voicemail. It was Amanda. She said she was taking Ellie to her first counseling session. Ellie had asked again. She said she didn't know what would come out, but this time she was going to listen. She didn't ask for forgiveness or for me to come back. She just said, "I think I'm finally doing what I should have done a long time ago." And for once, I believed her. That night, Harper asked if she could give Ellie a book that had helped her feel better about herself. I didn't stop her. I sat in the quiet of our apartment and realized I didn't want to go back, not even a little. I wasn't angry anymore. I just knew I'd never be that version of myself again. A few days later, Harper showed me a message from Ellie. She said she'd been going to therapy, that she understood now why the things she said mattered, and that she was truly sorry. Harper shrugged and said, "She's trying." That's new. A week later, Amanda called me directly. No excuses. No pressure. She said she knew she didn't deserve trust, but hoped that showing up differently might earn some of it back. She mentioned volunteering with Ellie and asked, carefully, if Harper might want to join someday. I told her I'd think about it. I did. Harper was healing. She laughed more. She didn't flinch anymore. I wasn't going to risk that. But I couldn't ignore that something real had shifted. A few Sundays later, we ran into Amanda and Ellie at the park. Ellie handed Harper a small sketchbook. On the front it read, "For when you need to draw a better world." Harper said thank you. No hugs. No tears. Just quiet respect. Amanda apologized to me. Not dramatically. Not publicly. Just honestly. We didn't make plans. We didn't pretend things were fixed. But it felt like the pretending had finally stopped. A month passed. Peacefully. Harper thrived at her new school. I slept through the night. Life felt normal in a way I'd never known. Then a letter came from the mortgage company. The house had been refinanced and fully removed from my name. Amanda had handled it quietly. Inside was a note. "No more weight on your shoulders. For real this time." Soon after, my boss offered me an assistant manager position, not out of need, but because I kept things running. I said yes. And for the first time, I felt proud in a solid, lasting way. That night, Harper made pancakes for dinner and said, "You're not stressed anymore. You laugh now." She was right. Later, Amanda sent a photo. Ellie holding a sign. Therapy milestone. 10 sessions. No caption. No request. And for the first time, what I felt wasn't anger, guilt, or obligation. It was peace and space to choose what kind of family we'd allow in our lives.